Welcome back to Total Disclosure. My name is Tyler and I'm the host. This is brought to you today by Pop Culture Corner Studios. And yes, I have my camera back. I went to the Best Buy. I went to Best Buy and got a Logitech C922, which I did have. I had actually had three three different Logitech cameras at one point, three different webcams. Um, I gave one to Freddie Mac to use at his house, which he never gave me back, and I've asked him for a million times. Also, he has my favorite Samson USB microphone. If you go back like a year and a half and look at the black microphone that I was using, that's like my favorite microphone of all time. And I lent them to him, and he never gave them back. Also, I sent Jack a microphone and a camera, um, and I sent Austin a microphone and a camera. And then all of a sudden, I was left with nothing. So I had to go out and get a new one. I'm super excited. Back on camera. It's a good thing. TW, thank you for stopping by, dude. Miss you, man. Tonight on Total Disclosure, we have a couple things to talk about. But before we get into that, guys, make sure to smash that like button. Share the show across social media with your friends, your family, your enemies. Mephisto, he's coming to the MCU. Yeah, we know it now. Name almost basically name dropped in She-Hulk. And by the way, that Ant-Man and Ant-Man Quantumania trailer was fucking off the chain. Off the chain. I've I haven't been that excited for a Marvel movie since Spider-Man. That trailer was unlike. I mean, from Ant-Man, I really disliked the first two Ant-Man, so I'm actually super excited to see where Quantumania brings us. And Kang looked amazing. Oh my God, looked amazing. Jonathan Majors is absolutely gonna smash it as Kang the Conqueror, and I can't wait to see multiple iterations. We've already seen one in Loki. Now we're seeing another in Quantumania, and this is a guy who can uh, be a villain across a whole phase, if you will. Yeah, that's right. I'm drinking orange juice. But yeah. So also, if you want to support the channel further, become a member, support the channel, help me God. All goes back into the show, so I can buy cameras and everything and all that kind of jazz. And make the show better for you. Also, like I said, I will be writing that. So I was started on a documentary, working the script of it. Also, fixing some equipment challenges. But also, I'm brought to you tonight with Lil Pop Tart. What's going on, dude?
What up? What up? What up?
Uh, yeah, man, it's been a while since I could see you. Well, no. Since you could see me, I could see you the whole time.
I know. I'm glad we're getting the double banger back to back.
Yeah, and I was debating on whether or not to do this or not because again, and that was one thing about movies. You could do a show every single night with movies, like movies and film, but
Yeah.
that was the problem. There's so much going on at all times that like it's so hard to keep up with everything, and you know, I was losing my passion. I really was, and
Yeah.
I have such a high passion for um the subject that we're talking about, UFOs,
Uh,
and also I did talk to that girl. So the one that we were supposed to do the podcast with yesterday.
yeah. Yeah.
So she messed up the dates, so she's gonna come on Thursday, and then we also have a guest on Sunday. So this week coming up is also going to be a jam-packed week. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Dope.
You said you were going to start your CE5 again. Did you end up starting that or no?
No, it just got dark here like an hour ago. So if I do it after the show, hopefully I'll see something. If not, you know, better luck next time. But it's not that's not the kind of mindset I should have. Whenever I was making successful contact, I had the mindset like, yeah, this is easy. I'm just gonna do it. I'll most likely have success, but if I don't, it's whatever. And the times that I didn't have success, I would usually have, at least if I didn't have it right away, it would be maybe hours later, the next, or even the next day, I would have a sighting then. But yeah, so anytime it's always have to be. I've never had a sighting unless I asked for it though, unless it was human initiated. So
Yeah, right, right. And do you think so, it's kind of ironic that you brought this up to me today. Um, but there's this thing going around, not going around, but I think we've been talking about it for quite some time about um craft that cannot just fly in atmospheric conditions, not just in space and the vastness of the universe, but also water. And it can change from one to the other seamlessly. There's, and that they call them the ones that go into the water for many years. They called them USOs, so unidentified submersive objects or submersible objects. So I've heard it both ways. So now we're kind of lumping it all together because we know that we're talking about the same thing. But the acronym that you do use also goes a long way. Like for instance, if you're making a FOIA request, if you use the wrong acronym, they're not going to send you anything. They're going to be like, oh, we don't have anything on USOs
oh
because
my
they
god,
document them as UAP.
that's why they're changing the acronym so much. Probably is to
Yeah,
one
to
make it
keep
more
everyone.
confusing, but to also just compartmentalize everything so much more.
Yeah. So um and then to go even a step further, apparently there are craft that can move through the physical dimension. So basically, like it could fly into a mountain, like like without causing an explosion or like smashing the side of the mountain. Now, do you want to explain the difference? So maybe you can start with what transmedium craft can do, and
Yeah.
what those tend to be.
So the transmedium term has been big in the UFO language lately. Jeremy Corbell likes to use it a lot, or at least he was. But that can be used for man-made craft as well. And most likely, our man-made craft are transmedium. But that just means that they can go through space, air, and water without slowing down, changing speed or shapes, and obviously without getting any damage. So, also, we know now from Travis Taylor, um, who came and said this in a video after he pretty much got outed about got exposed for working for the government. He came out right after that and had a video saying that we now know that these objects are trans-Terranean. Like you were saying, they can go through terrain and basically mountains, the ground even itself. And there's been lots of reports of even ETs. I'm not a believer in abductions, but people that claim to have had close encounters of the third kind, they a lot of times claim that ETs can walk through their walls, and people that do CE5 also claim
Yeah, I
that
was gonna say that. So, but
whenever.
I feel like the craft being able to do that is on a whole different level because something that's
I don't know.
so well in our minds, human minds, we
Yeah,
think of think of a spacecraft like our own spaceships, the rockets.
yeah.
You couldn't even imagine that thing being able to pass through
Well,
someone's
no,
house. It
no.
wouldn't. It just doesn't even fucking. It's not even fathomable. So with to have that ability, not just as a being, a light being, or even just an ET being that has a mastery over, what dimension they're in, or what you know what state their body is in. But the craft that can do that, it blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean that's almost it seems like it would be more shocking than the water or them going through space, but really it's not because if they have the ability to do that, water is basically, you know,
Well,
still
you got to think about this
if you
too,
hit water whenever you jump out of an airplane or jump off a diving board that's super really high, it feels like concrete, whatever. So
right?
you would think the same would apply if a plane crashes in the water, but no, they obviously have technology that allows them to go through
Well,
objects
yeah,
and to go through whatever you call it.
that's the thing. And that again, you just brought up one of the best points. The best points. So,
Yeah,
say an airplane, a human-made airplane is going down over, let's say, the Atlantic Ocean,
yeah,
and it's fucked, right? There's nothing it can do. Like, it's going down, no questions asked. Like, there's nothing that can be done. And that thing hits the water, it hits it, and the force is like it hit a rock wall, right?
yeah.
That's because it doesn't matter that it's liquid. It that doesn't know
Is
the
that inertia?
force.
Is that
No, it,
inertia?
no, no, not inertia.
I know
It
what
that
inertia is, but I didn't know if that was also. You know what I mean?
no
I don't
that
know
that
what
would
it's
that wouldn't
called.
yeah, that wouldn't be inertia. I wonder what it is called, but like the fact that, like, say you take this orange juice, right,
Yeah,
and I were to slap it with a piece of paper, it
yeah,
would make a noise because like it doesn't absorb it. Like there's the it bounces off of it. And like you said, same thing if you were to, jump from a really high distance and hit the water, like it fucking hurts. It feels it takes a minute for it to absorb you. So the fact that these craft can come at the speed of light and hit the water and then be able to go under the water and fly the same way they would out in space at just as quick and just as maneuverable and like it's unbelievable that
yeah.
that technological just that alone is a game changer.
But it's not like their craft are like that all the time because we know about obviously crashes and they obviously have to turn on some type of force field or something. I'm guessing. I'm just using a really
Did you
you
hear about
know
what the
dumb
Italian
term, force
government
field,
said?
but no, what's that?
So the Italian government, basically, what happened was there hasn't been many documented cases like this in the past, but there was one specific case in Italy, and this is at the time when they were having really bad droughts and fires like everywhere, and basically there was a UFO spotted. They scrambled a military helicopter to
Yeah,
chase it, and they something happened and the UFO used some sort of directional energy, directional um, force, and clipped. So it didn't kill the pilot. It hit it perfectly enough where he spun out and could still land safely, but it made sure that he wasn't going to be able to fire on him because that was the goal. And like because he locked on to this thing, and then once he locked on and had ill intent, it just fucking zoom turn like it like did a circle and now gotten back. Got so he was chasing it and he locked onto it, and this thing just zip went back at him, hit him with that, clipped him, and they have the wreckage of it and everything. Like, and you can see right where the propeller is, right underneath it, there's a perfect, like, as if you took like a really sharp knife and cut through butter.
yeah.
And it sent him down again safely. Um, but they said when it emitted that beam, it it's forced it's what protected it had to go down. So they basically had to drop their force field to fire the weapon.
Yeah.
So
That's
they're
when they're
already
vulnerable, is at that
that's
point when
where
they're
they're
like firing.
vulnerable.
Yeah,
Right.
but
And
that's not that we would ever want to attack anyways,
but we
that's
do.
yeah, and that's
But
that's
you got to think, you know what I mean? The Italian government knows this.
yeah,
You're damn straight. If the Italian government knows it, the United States have not just knows it, but have been implementing it because they're fucking assholes like that. Um,
You've heard about the cosmic karma case, which is
I'm
on
sorry.
it's called Cosmic Karma, and it happened somewhere overseas at a United States military base, and there's apparently a UFO spotted really close to the ground, and they were told not to fire, and a trigger happy soldier accidentally fired anyways, some rocket at it, and it pretty much blew up their ship, and it crashed, and three beings got out of the ship, joined hands, turned into an orb, and then
No.
flew up into the sky. And as soon as they flew up into the sky and into space, all 21 soldiers turned to stones. They turned to rocks, literal stones,
What?
except for like two or three of them that were hiding behind something and survived and didn't get turned to stones. But it's literally on like the FBI, whatever's website. I've seen it years and years ago. And it's called Cosmic Karma because that was the only case of like we deserved it. We shot at them, so it was karma. But whether or not that's real, I
Wait,
don't know.
whoa.
I don't know if it's real, but it's there.
Turned the soldiers to stone?
That's the story, yeah, and that's what the report or whatever the declassified files says.
T-
Yeah,
yeah. Talk about fucking karma.
I also watched almost all of the Ryan Graves interview with Rogan just out of curiosity, not because I necessarily like him or enjoy hearing him talk. It was honestly so boring, but he does have a lot of he has a lot of eyewitness testimony, and
Yep.
that's all I care about. I don't care about his the rest of all the boring stuff. But one
Well,
thing
that's one of
that
the things that we're talking about tonight is finally, someone new from the USS Nimitz case came forward finally and spoke about the incident and how there was a USO. And Fravor talked about how there was a USO. Um, uh, and well, that he thought that there could potentially be a craft also under the water because of the way the water was churning.
the ripples,
Yeah, because he said it was a really calm day and there was no white caps. So white caps, for anyone who don't know, is when you're looking at the water and the waves hit each other and make like a white cap. It looks like a mountain peak for a second, and it's white. And you see these all over the ocean when it's windy. There was none of that, but in the one spot where the Tic Tac was,
yeah,
below it under the water was fucking churning over like it
yeah,
was a tide, like what do they call that? Um, what do they call that? When the water
uh,
swirls?
hurricane,
No, when the
tornado,
water
twister,
swirls, a cyclone. So the water was
cyclone,
cycloning.
cyclone.
Yeah.
That's so
Um,
funny.
but this new witness came out and said that, and we'll watch the little video clip on it. But the witness said that he saw a triangle craft come out of the water, turn on an axis, and then boom, gone within like a snap, gone. Um, and then he was questioned and a bunch of stuff like what did you see? Because he wasn't supposed to be out because they called dark ship. Now dark ship is when basically you're trying to hide from an enemy radar or something. So basically everyone goes inside the ship. They shut all the lights down. Every piece of equipment gets turned off. It's and you basically just right quietness. It's just quiet.
That's weird.
Yeah, and
Never heard that.
it's called dark ship. So they went into dark ship and he got trapped out on the deck because they lock all the doors. So he didn't know. Like, so he went back to try to get in, and the door was locked. And when that happens, you're locked out. So you have to find a spot to hide, and you just kind of sit there for an hour until they come back, or ever how long. While he was sitting there on a dark ship, no lights in the middle of the ocean, this fucking thing came out of the water, fucking tilted, boom. Imagine fucking seeing that. That'd be crazy. That would be
Uh,
crazy. And he thinks that's why they went dark ship. And it kind of lends credence to the fact that they either knew the thing was there and they wanted to see it, or
Yeah.
they knew it was there because it was theirs, because it was ours, and that's
Yeah.
why you got questioned.
So one thing that Ryan Graves was talking about, apparently we got I don't know if it was the FLIR, but we got the new radar systems that we're using in about 2014. So once we got those, that's when we were able to pick up even more UAPs than ever before, right?
Yeah,
And we've already been, seeing them, everybody from military to civilians to, presidents to this and that. Everybody's been seeing them since the beginning of human existence. But one thing about the military and them seeing them that's different is their radars. They're not just having, eyeball confirmation, which is really important. They have that also, but the radar is really important because that's what they're designed for. And they have ways to tell if a radar is even not working. These are, $1 million, the best of the best that you can have. So they are what they're made for. But the one thing that Ryan Graves
The
talked about was
Nimitz 13
observation
years earlier.
bias, that whenever unless we're looking in a specific spot, that's as many, if that group that Ryan Graves is working with spots 100 UFOs in even one day, okay, that's just one spot. The rest of the world that they're not observing, who knows how many's there. And that's what
yeah,
he talks
yeah.
about,
That's the
observation
crazy
bias.
part.
We
Yeah,
share Earth with plenty of other life, is what we're learning. We share the skies, the oceans, and just the entire earth with many, many intelligent beings that just because we can't always see them, they're there. And that's what we're learning. And that's what we've already learned, but people are still learning every day.
yeah. I mean, I put that in my article about moment of contact. I don't know if you read
Yeah.
it.
I read it with
Probably.
you last night, but
Um, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so you read it with me.
yeah.
But that's why I put that, is maybe we lacked the ability to see until, maybe we're just coming across the technology, and we're just now getting to a point where now we're starting to pick these things up, and they've always been here. They've
Yeah.
now, we're just now being able to see it.
Without
um
their choosing, so to speak, because most of the time it's up to them when they're
yeah,
seen,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
with
I
the
would
radar and
assume
stuff like
so.
that, that's they pretty much know that they're being seen with radar, most of the time. But it's not necessarily the case. That's not always, we can't know that for sure that they know. So with radar and stuff, it is different.
Yeah, there was a video I saw on Facebook the other day with one of the groups I'm in, and the kid was recording a UFO, and dude, it seems. I mean, it could be fake. I didn't analyze the video, which I can do. I often, if I find a video that really fucking intrigues me, I put it
Yeah.
into my editing software, and I start messing with the alpha channels, because if I take the video and I go into alpha channel, it basically makes it a black and white, like, blobs, and you can see if, like, say someone took a picture and put it over it, or put an effect over it, I'd be able to
Yeah.
see it in an alpha channel.
Yeah.
And that, then there's other tricks and shit like that. And I do it all the time, because there are videos that are like, holy fuck, if that's real, then, like,
But one thing that was super cool about the Ryan Graves Rogan interview that he talked about was that with the radar, they can tell also if these objects are giving off cold or hot
hot.
heat
Yeah.
signatures. So they can tell if an object is cold or hot, which most, you know, rockets, airplanes, everything is going to be warm, right?
Yeah.
And going
Yeah.
to be hot, especially,
Because they literally, it's like their combustion engine.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're
a lot of
literally
these
in it.
UFOs are cold and just giving off cold signatures.
Yep.
So that's super strange.
Exactly, because he kind of explains the footage, and what he's saying is, so, everybody here most likely has seen the three, gimbal, go fast, and tic tac UFOs. There's one where they switch between different views, and it goes from being a white with a blackish gray surrounding to white with a no, to black with a whitish gray background. And basically they're flipping through it because the object that they're seeing is colder than, or is it, the air around it, you know what I mean? So usually a
Yeah,
jet would be a lot, it'd be fucking, you know, bright red hot in comparison to the air around it, right? Because the air around it would be cooler. Um,
yeah,
but with these UFOs, it's opposite, which
yeah.
means,
It's like you can it even makes sense like the silver disc above my house, bro. You didn't just like it looked like it was just like electronic, right? It looked like one piece of like future alien technology. It was a trip, but it makes sense that it wouldn't be hot. You know what I'm saying? I just don't ever imagine UFOs to be hot at all or warm or blow up from being hot because you know what I'm saying. That's not a problem that they have to deal with is blowing up. And unfortunately, we've had that same technology, and we could have prevented astronauts from blowing up on these missions. There's
yeah,
so much death, and so
all the
much.
Apollo failures and everything like that.
There's
Like,
so many cases like that, and there's so many examples that we could give that if humanity would have done the right thing in the 40s and 50s, how better off the Earth would be. And we could really do a whole episode of just like what if, and we can do an episode of what if we start now. You know, like in the grand scheme of
what?
things, at least we found out now. So think about the positive. We could have ended humanity without ever finding out, and that would have been sad. If I would have died before I found out about UFOs, and especially before CE5, because finding out about CE5 after finding about UFOs was like opening up a whole new door
Yeah,
once
it
you're
turned
already somewhere, you know.
it I'll be honest. It like when I got into this,
Mm,
it it changed the world to me because the world
yeah,
was starting to get boring
yeah,
and mundane. And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking about this, like, absolutely mind-boggling fucking uh um hypothesis. And it's just it's amazing. Like, the world to me is so much more interesting right now. It's so much, and that's the great thing about this topic is, like,
yeah,
I wake up with a purpose every day now. and
yeah,
and about getting, whether it's getting to the truth, or like, who can I talk to today that's going to make me see differently.
yeah.
um
That you can learn from. This is the one subject that actually like teaches us, bro. I
right.
mean,
Shout out Billy for that, throwing us that 99 cent super chat.
and this is something really, really weird. I just want to get off my brain. It's like this just crazy scenario I always have in my head. I can only imagine the people back, years ago in like the 70s or even like the 80s, whatever, when they had a real like close encounter of the third kind. Seeing that back then, whenever it was just like peace, love, like the hippie phase and whatnot, and seeing a saucer land and ETs get out with black tight fitting like scuba suits,
Yeah,
which has been the case and it's happened a
multiple.
lot, multiple
Yeah,
times. That's just a scenario, a scene that I just think would be really cool. That
imagine, imagine just getting to sit down and legitimately sit down. Like, imagine, now, I don't know if you guys can see. Hold on. Imagine that I just had an alien sitting in that chair
yeah,
talking
uh,
to me
Rogan's talked
for
about it.
the
Rogan wants to
podcast
interview.
that we did. Like, just sitting right there with me, you
Yeah,
know, and I'm learning about who their Einstein is, who their Tesla is, who
yeah,
their, who invented the wheel, what connection do we have with each other? Like, these are things I can only dream of. And honestly, I I really do believe that we have a chance to answer these things within
yeah.
our lifetime.
Due to this subject.
What?
due largely to this subject.
Well, yeah, only because of this subject.
Yeah, it
Um,
just opens the doors to so many questions and stuff that we have about life. It's been the biggest questions in life is, are we alone in the universe? Does God exist? And we've
yeah.
already
What?
answered one of them.
Well, no, no, no.
And what happens after
I
you?
think
What
it was.
happens after you die is
Yeah,
more of a better, the big question. But
yeah.
you know
That
what I
was
mean?
the final paragraph of the article was. There are two questions that have pondered humans since the first thoughts came across our minds. What happens after we die, and are we alone? Um, and I think for once, for a change, we might be able to answer one of those questions,
Oh yeah.
and potentially by answering one, we could answer both, because who's to say that these beings don't know the true nature of the universe? You know,
Well,
who
they definitely
maybe,
have a better understanding than we do. That's
yeah,
all I know. They definitely know
right.
more than us. So
And we can only benefit. And I know people get scared because anytime a advanced civilization has come across a less developed civilization, the less developed civilization tends not to make it. But that doesn't that we that yeah, we were talking about Indians and fucking the British. We were talking about very primitive shit.
yeah.
We are humans. We are advanced enough to where I do not think alien contact is going to wipe our civilization out unless it was by like a
No.
disease that we just didn't expect. But I would have to assume again that these beings would be able to solve that issue within a minute. You know, so I don't think. I don't think that that's the case. I don't support that.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at this. Let's watch this little video because
All right.
I have it up and it's I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gonna start making it lag.
For sure.
But guys, this is um uh shit, god damn it. Courtesy of Discovery Channel. And it's actually not a bad show. I don't remember the name exactly of the show, but I'll get it. And take a look at this clip. It corroborates a lot of the Nimitz story. Kevin Day's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He was on the Nimitz. Well, he was on the Princeton, but he was in the Nimitz battle group. Gary Voorhees was there as well, and Commander Fravor. And this guy's basically his story kind of corroborates multiple points of each of those other guys. So along with the radar and everything else. And it's just it's. By the way, I just wanted to throw this in there. Gary Voorhees also said that two men came aboard the ship, and they were in plain civilian clothes, and they interviewed up to 5 or 6 people and took some of the or most of the data recording. But that was never proven. But this guy's story seemingly is corroborating that part of the story. And then I will stop it again next time he corroborates. I believe it's Commander Fravor that he corroborates next. Not knowing it, obviously. I'm just connecting the dots. Yeah. So what do you think, man?
It sounds legit, but my question is, I'm just a little confused. Did he walk out as it was coming out of the ocean? Was he already? Was the ship already in the air? Like,
Yeah, he says it. He was watching the sunset,
okay, yeah.
got locked out, and he watched the thing come out of the water, turn, like tilt upwards, and
Mm.
then boom, just left. And that was it. It was a triangle craft. He saw it for like 15 seconds, but it definitely came out of the water, definitely tilted up, and definitely rocketed off. So,
But
um,
so he's assuming, or he's like saying basically that he thinks that someone on the ship knew what was going to happen. How?
right. So
So do they have systems underwater? They have radar underwater too that
yeah,
possibly could have seen it coming up. And no, look,
dude,
we got this big object coming up. It's probably gonna come out of the water. Let's get everyone
yes,
inside before it comes out of the water.
either that
Because I was
or
confused, like how would someone know unless they have like radar?
dude, the Nimitz battle group Pop Tart, like it's our number one battle fleet.
They're Navy. They're Navy, right?
Yeah, it's our
Navy.
number.
Yeah,
It's the number, dude. This thing, if World War III started right now, the Nimitz battle group would be the first ones there.
really.
That's how they are. They are the top of the top of the top.
Hmm.
And it's not just one ship. It's like five. So yes, they
Hmm.
have. There's a submarine. So yes, they do have sonar that's working at the same time as their radar, and
Yeah,
and they also have the Spy One radar plane. So that dude, they can see everything from there's nothing they can't see. So basically, what he's
yeah,
saying is, and that's what I find interesting about this guy's story is the fact that basically he's saying he thinks they knew it was coming. Now that could lead us two ways. The first way being, if they knew it was coming, they is it theirs? Is it ours? That would
yeah.
corroborate
That
Dr.
was my
Greer's
first thought,
theory
honestly.
of the fact that the Tic Tac and this triangle UFO are in fact secret government, projects. Because Triangle Craft, I mean, the Astra is a triangle, TR3B, TR3B
Yeah,
Astra, and a new video just came out of that thing, um, which we'll watch in a few. But or so it's either man-made and they knew it was coming because they were briefed on it. They were told to go dark ship. Um, maybe they on the boat didn't know what was happening, but maybe they got call and said like go into dark ship right now, and they had to do it. Um, but no one was supposed to see what the fuck actually was happening. Or yeah, they picked it up and they saw this thing was coming and they didn't want to scare anybody. They know that UFOs aren't a threat if they're alien, and if they're not ours, then they're alien. And it's not going to hurt us. Just let it pass and let it get out of here.
yeah.
Um, Either way, I mean, no one was hurt. So,
I mean,
and
when
we,
you're on a cruise ship, bro, and you pass by a huge fucking shark or whale, you don't shoot it down or kill it. You just do that. You let it pass by. It's part of nature. You know what I'm saying? And if the ETs are heavily observing, watching our military, everything, nuclear, our ships, this and that, everything, then there's probably a reason. There's probably lots of reasons, and maybe even I think the simplest explanation is usually the right one. And obviously the most logical explanation would be we shouldn't have war. We don't need military besides just like planetary basic defense, and they should be doing things to help people instead of just war and war and war. That's such not beneficial to any of humanity. you know, Maybe soldiers should do stuff that is more beneficial for humanity and not just some fake bullshit, government propaganda that, oh, it's patriotic, it's this and that. Like, come die for your country. It's really American. Like, no, that is horrible for any country to trick your fucking youth and your citizens into dying for your fucking war addiction.
yeah, um,
It's evil. It's
yeah,
evil.
it is evil, and it's not right. And then and if it, say these things are in fact
Yeah.
technology that the government is using
Yeah.
around around their own without letting them know, or
It's
without
both.
kind of scaring them.
Yep.
That's so wrong on so many fucking levels, on so
Yeah.
many levels. Um, and Kevin Day, he said that to me. The guy who was involved in this basically said, If I find out that these are ours, I'm going to be pissed because you know the whole thing about Navy training it's all about safety, and this was the furthest thing from safe. You know, like that's not safe. Um, with the Tic Tac, having a jet, having a Commander Favor chase this thing down, and something bad could have happened because he was chasing it. And not by any not saying that they would have collided or anything, but who knows? Like, an accident could have happened. So testing these things against our own pilots and Navy crew, that would be fucking monstrous.
Well, and I think it is actually Dr. Greer's newest documentary, the Above Top Secret, where they really expose the Tic Tac for being a Lockheed Martin, reverse engineered vehicle. They said it was from a new insider, and they said that the Tic Tac is a hybrid craft, and that it can go through the ocean at 500 miles per hour and through air at 24,000 miles per hour, escaping Earth's velocity if needed. And
Right.
it's from the U.S. Air Force. Apparently, it's part of an Air Force secret space program vehicle, and it was reverse engineered, built in Palmdale, California, at a place called Plant 42.
Plant 42.
Allegedly.
Never.
I mean,
I've
obviously,
never
I
heard
can
of
only
that.
speak 100% for things I've seen with my own eyes, but that's
Yeah.
that's what it said on the movie.
Hey, hey, it is what it is. Like, none of us will truly ever know. No, but um,
But if that
there.
is true, then we'll find out eventually.
Yeah, no, we hopefully, what do you think about um classification? Um because we're going to move on
Yeah, I
to something else, but what do you think about the government misclassifying UFO videos as cuz I don't know if you guys, if anyone knows this, but John Greenwald Jr. Of the blackvault.com, he is the FOIA king. Ben Hanson's also really good with FOIA requests.
yeah.
But basically, they got John Greenwald got an answer back from the office saying that no more videos will be sent out, or no more videos will be released because
Yeah.
all of them are being deemed as top secret classified.
Oh,
So
shocker.
what do you feel about the misuse of classification levels amongst the
I
U.S.
think that the
government?
UAP task force, the fucking ALSAP, ASAP, AMSAP, August, all these fucking Project Blue Book reruns, bro. It's just a rerun. Literally, America is a fucking reality show. We had Donald Trump as the fucking president. And if you remember, it was his own son, Eric Trump. Maybe it was
That
Donald Trump
asked them
Jr.
about
I
aliens.
get him fucking mixed up. Yeah, that asked him literally about aliens, said the word aliens, talked about Roswell, all this, blah blah blah. Literally, America is a reality show, and all this is just a rerun of Project Blue Book. And they're like, if it works, it works. It worked with Project Blue Book, and it's worked this long. Now they only have a new plan, which is their, um, the cosmic hoax, the false flag, and that's what the only reason they've even been doing anything with the subject at all. The only reason I know anything about UFOs, got into it at all, is because of the government's fucking long-term strategic plan to do this. That's the only reason. If it wasn't for that, I would have never probably got into UFOs. I would have never known unless someone just told me one day and like put me on, which I wish they would have, because that's what I'm
Yeah,
doing. I'm trying to put people on. It's what I've always done with fashion, with music, with pop culture, with trends, anything cool. I put people onto it first. I've known about
well,
so
that's what
many
we. Yeah,
famous
that's what we're
artists
here
before they
for.
blew up. So this is just the thing that I'm trying to put people onto first. I mean, not
Yeah,
first. A lot of people know about it, but you know what I mean.
that's why we're here. To help destigmatize.
Yeah,
Um,
spread awareness for the most part.
yes, I'm actually going to be replacing some of the stuff here with
Dope.
more alien central stuff.
I'm getting a little Pop Tart like neon sign. Was what I'm
Yeah,
getting,
good luck with that, dude.
or just not even neon sign,
I've
just a
looked into
sign,
them,
custom
dude.
made,
They're
a
fucking
custom
expensive.
a custom made sign is cool. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even have to be neon. I'd be cool with a neon sign, but
Yeah.
anyways,
Um, so anyway, let's take a look at this. So I did make a mistake in yesterday's show, and I want to clear that up. Um, but we'll do that in just a moment. But remember that whole NASA announcing the
Yep.
um, um, what's it called?
26
The
members.
Yes. So there are quite a few members of the actual team, but Ryan Graves. There was just a little mix up on my part, and I apologize. But let's go through because they announced the full list of members. So I just want to go through that. We got about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes left in the show. I can't go, I have to be at work at in 6 hours. So,
Oh shit.
um, yeah, so we're going to, and
Ryan
I'll,
Graves was actually in the top secret, above top secret Dr. Greer movie with a clip from like years and years ago. He was like kind of chubbier and like it was an older clip. I just saw it earlier rewatching it. Ryan Graves was in it. Super random.
oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't even realize it. Or
All right. After this, will be a word from our sponsors. Sign up for StreamYard today. Hey, by the way, sign up for StreamYard. If you guys are content creators, I highly recommend using StreamYard. It's been since I started live streaming, honestly, it's been what I use as my go to streaming all in one. It brings post production, pre production, and on the go fly live all in one convenient location. You can do pre-recorded videos. You can stream to up to I think it's or 4 or 5 different channels at once. It's amazing. You can go Twitch, anywhere that has like the RTTP link. You can pretty much do so. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all those normal ones, and it's relatively well priced. It's pretty fair priced amongst the industry. They're all kind of cost the same. So, but StreamYard is by far the one with the most things that you can do, and I think it's the most user friendly. So definitely use our code. It's in the description below. Also, use our code and sign up for TubeBuddy to start utilizing their amazing tools. Let TubeBuddy do the work for you. That is www.tubebuddy.com/POP. Movie Palette is our newest sponsor, and it allows you to put your favorite movie scene on canvas. It's a great gift for your movie buff friend or relative, and it's just an amazing piece to help bring a room together. It also won't make your partner blush or get embarrassed when bringing company over and checking out your nerdy Superman poster. Use code Culture Corner 15 at checkout and get 15% off. Also, check out our merch store. It is linked and integrated with the YouTube channel, and all that goes back to us and back into the show. I can't stress that enough. So let's get into the next segment. All right, so back to the NASA study. I'm not going to read the article, but we are going to discuss the names that are in it. I'll skip down to that part. Geez, science.com has a lot of ads on their website. All right, so uh, let's just read a little bit of it. So the study doesn't aim to be the last word on UFOs. It will look at previously collected UAP observations, the unclassified ones only, leaving out sensitive military data. That's what the UAP task force is going to be handling. So focusing on how they can be better organized and analyzed in the future to shed more light on mysterious sky sites. Sorry. Exploring the unknown in space and the atmosphere is at the heart of who we are at NASA, which is what I've been saying for fucking years. It made no sense to me that they weren't investigating this. Um, I'm gonna skip down. I think I am far too up. So, but today's update revealed the full team, the full team. There will be 16 investigators from a variety of fields, from astronomy to oceanography to computer science to journalism. God, I wish I was a big enough journalist so I could get in on that. There's even a former NASA astronaut in the bunch. In addition to Spergel, the team members are Anna Marie Barea. Then it lists like what they are. I'm not going to go through all that. Federica Bianco, Paula Bentempi, Reggie Brothers, Jen Buss, Nadia Drake, freelance science journalist. Also, she works at National Geographic, so that's good. Mike Gold. You know what I do like that they have here is journalists, because journalists will always abide by freedom of press and freedom of information. David Grinspoon, senior scientist at the Planetary Science Institution of Tucson. Scott Kelly, former NASA astronaut, test pilot, fighter pilot, and retired U.S. Navy captain. That is by far the most significant to me, because we all know Edgar Mitchell and Gordon Cooper and several other astronauts were really big into this topic. It's nice to see another astronaut stepping forward and taking it seriously. Matt Mountain, Warren Randolph, Walter Scott, Joshua Semeter, who does computer engineering at Boston University. Shout out to Boston. Carlin Toner, Shelly Wright. And that is it, guys. So those are the people that are. That's a lot of people. What do you think about that? There's some really, really, really talented people here.
Yeah, for sure. Something I just sent you on Instagram. Apparently, there was an alleged anomaly that leaked today from NASA from Mars, a UFO in the sky on Mars. I just sent you on Instagram. I don't know, obviously, how credible or anything. I just found it on Instagram. But yeah, as far as the NASA investigating it, it's cool. I like NASA. I don't trust NASA worth it, further
Yeah,
than I can throw them.
there's a lot of journalists there. So
Yeah,
I hope the journalists will keep things, pretty, open, but open and uh, transparent.
I mean, at this point, it's like the people that are actually involved in the cover up. You can't say NASA. You can't say even the government. It's such a small group of the government, of private industries, whatever, that have any, that have full access, that have this or that. It's such a small group. So people in NASA, are also discovering this also. And, just because, or they're reassessing it, maybe they've heard about UFOs, this or that. I just heard about UFOs and just thought science fiction, even though I was interested if life was in the universe. I didn't know that UFOs were actually considered to be possible at all. I thought it was
Yeah,
completely
no.
disproven, like, until the 2020, came around. But yeah,
Isn't it
bro,
crazy?
apparently not one president since Eisenhower has had full access to these programs. And
Yeah.
that's the big travesty. It's not even that these programs are going on, it's
I
that
want to
there's
do a
no oversight. It's completely run illegal, corrupt, immoral, and costing trillions and trillions of dollars. And this is what's evolved to now is the TikTok. And you know,
I want to
what's been
do a
going
deep
on.
dive. I want to do so there's our one of our viewers, Mo Moon. Um he always engages us on Twitter and everything. So shout out to Mo Moon. And dude, shout out to that UFO podcast. Um they are the biggest UFO podcast, and they, they engage with us constantly. So huge shout out to them. And you know, I know Andy. His dog wasn't doing so well. Um, and I know they had to put him down. And my dog is my best friend. So you know,
Same, bro.
I
My
I
dog's
can't.
my kid.
Yeah, I truly feel for you, buddy. And I told him if he needs anything to let me know. And he'll definitely be on the show. Him and Dan, most likely, and probably Kurt from Theories of Everything. So as far as making friends in the community, I think we've done a good job so far. Because even when we make mistakes, we step back from them. And we assess, maybe we did, you know, you know, make fun of Kurt a little bit too much in that video, or maybe we didn't take his side because, um, you know, uh, I guess if it was me looking at Greer and Kurt, I'm gonna take Greer's side because he's a UFO, like he is, he's part of the UFO community, whereas Kurt is more of a science background, like full science background. So, but we're actually, Kurt reached out to me. He's the one, I didn't reach out to Kurt. Kurt reached out to me. And we're setting something up so that him and I can speak one on one and hopefully work something out. So, yeah, I mean, uh, there's just so much that that we have coming.
Yeah, at least he gave Greer a platform. You know,
Yeah,
unlike Rogan.
unlike. All right, you just stop throwing Rogan under the bus,
Well, he took off the podcast, bro. I mean,
dude,
like
dude,
I love Joe
dude.
Rogan. I watch him every day almost.
I'm
Just swear to
sorry,
God,
buddy.
I love Joe Rogan.
I'm
He's
sorry,
just wrong.
but if it no, but if it, dude, it's not wrong. It's not, because if he didn't do it, he would not have got. He wouldn't have got the $100 million contract. And sorry, but if it came down to it, and you had to take an interview down for to eight, I think it was 5 or 6 total to put the ink on the pen and get your fucking check. Come on, man.
But think about why.
He's not well,
Why
oh
would
shit.
Greer? That just proves that Greer's right, though. The fact that the
That
government or
doesn't prove
whoever wanted to
anything.
take him off. It doesn't necessarily, but he is. So obviously they're
I
going
just
to do small
Okay,
things
I
like that,
agree.
big things like
I
that.
agree in I
Cosmic
agree
hoaxes,
in the
shadow
sense
ban.
that I agree in the sense that um maybe Corbell and all them like talked Joe into it. Like,
Influenced
oh
him.
yeah. But I don't think Joe did it like with ill intent. That's not Joe. Joe's
Yeah,
the same guy who had Alex Jones on the show
yeah. I don't think
multiple
so.
times.
Yeah, I don't think he was coming from a place of ill intent at all. I think he's just simply misinformed. He's misinformed
He had to
about the
take those
entire
Alex
UFO
Jones
subject.
ones down too.
He's a little bit still of a primate, bro. He's still big, bulky, like, fighting UFC 8-man. Like, that's how a lot of humanity still is. And, that he's still a great person, still great at everything he
Dude,
does.
Joe is one of the smartest guys
He's
I've.
not a ufologist, you know what I'm saying? So I can't, you can't expect him. He still really got me into the UFO stuff, though. Like, that's what got me into it at first. But once you go get into the Greer C5 and everything, and you learn so much more than you ever did with the other UFO documentaries at all. It's like you can't go back almost. I go back and I try to watch people like Ryan Graves now sit there and stumble over, I wonder what these could be. We have no idea, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, it's this, that. And I answer everything that they're talking about. And then Rogan's even on there saying too, he's like, these are what did he say? I wrote down. He said, they're just not they're not understood. We just haven't been understood yet. These UFOs haven't been understood yet. I'm like, they've been completely understood by the US government since 1956. Like, the fact that people, I appreciate that they are starting their journey on this subject, but if they don't eventually get to Greer and get to CE5 and contact, then it's really disappointing. It's almost like a waste of time, in my opinion, bro. Because you're like backpedaling and you're stuck in this one place forever, the rest of your life. If we don't evolve, we're going to be stuck here at the very best. If we don't go extinct, then we're going to be stuck where we are, where we've been stuck the last 100 years. And that's why he's making the movie The Lost Century, because we've been
Right.
stuck in
Right.
this like limbo state where we've had fossil fuels, the same technologies for 100 years, and no alternatives. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I hear you, brother. I get it. But unfortunately, we're running out of time tonight. Um, I always like to ask like a nice deep question at
Yeah.
the end of every episode. It's my thing. So if you if if you could choose, say a craft came down and said you can take your family, you gotta, and you can come with us, and we'll bring you across the galaxy with us, and you'll be fine. Like you'll be able to breathe. What
Yep.
well, you'll be able to eat all that kind of stuff. Would you go?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I've been trying to do that in my dreams since starting CE5, just even not in my dreams. I would like to do it. I'd much rather it not be in my dreams and be awake while it's happening. And whenever I saw the triangle craft myself and it came 20 feet above my head, whatever, I thought I was asking it to land. And you were talking about you wanted to interview an alien. That was literally like whenever I was making contact with that triangle for the 2 nights in a row, whatever, it was getting close, and I was literally asking it to come smoke weed with me, bro. I said, please land here and smoke weed. I was like, if you don't want me to record, I won't record, whatever, blah blah blah. And it didn't land.
They
It
probably
didn't
just
land, but
laughed
it
at
came
you.
so close. It came so close and allowed me to see this black triangle with red honeycomb breathing lights under it, and I got to see alien technology up close and personal with my eyes. I tried to record it, and I sent you even the video of it, and you can hear me talking about it in the background. Like the video doesn't do justice, like it's black triangle, blah blah blah. But yeah, up close and personal with your eyes, you could see this technology, and it was honeycomb red lights on the bottom of it. It went directly above my head. I thought it came so close to my house, my yard. I thought it was going to land in my yard, and I was literally like flashing the green laser at my yard, like land here, land here. It didn't, but it came so close that it allowed me to see its technology. Because when I was starting off, I said, when I first started making contact, I said, I want to see your best technology. I want to be mind blown. I want the maximum that I can get. I want the max, max, max. And I kept saying that. I want the maximum. And whatever I can get, I want. So, and they did. So I would see 10, 20, sometimes 25 or so orbs each night, craft each night, and that lasted for the first couple weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Um, it's such a good episode, man. Thank you so much,
Always,
as
buddy,
always.
always.
Where can they find you on Instagram and Twitter?
Um, double underscore little pop tart on Instagram, underscore little pop tart on Twitter, and I'm gonna start making some videos on my own YouTube here pretty soon too. And yep,
Yeah. And
that's that.
as always, guys, you can watch or listen to the show on Spotify, and you can listen on Apple Podcasts, or you can stay right here and watch us on YouTube. Uh, we're on Twitch also, but not as many shows go to Twitch. We are affiliated on Twitch, but so maybe Pop Tart. Do you play video games?
Nintendo. I'm a Nintendo guy.
Oh, okay. Um, but yeah, so watch us all there. All the links are in the description below, guys. And truly, we thank you so much for being here. just with this thought to leave you with, Greer, Benjamin.
Hey, this is
Greer,
my Bible. This is my Bible right here, bro.
I'm sure it is. Which one is it? Hidden Truth or
All
Forbidden
all all
Knowledge?
hail Dr. Greer. I'm
Oh my
starting my own
God.
I'm starting my own religion, bro.
That'll quickly become a cult.
People
Uh,
already think he's a cult leader. They
uh,
think they say the worst about him. I'm just gonna go full blown all the merch. I really am making like the Kanye Dr. Greer
dude,
merch. I'm going all out with this promotion
let's
and
make
marketing.
yeah, but let's sell it for the show.
Yeah, for the show,
Um,
for the whole brand.
yeah.
I'm gonna really get us in the White House, bro.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. We love you.